So one of the most anticipated games that was announced way back in 2018 is Atomic Heart. Now, Atomic Heart itself looks amazing. As you can see on screen, it's got a lot of cool stuff going on here. The imagination of the developers and artists is just phenomenal. Now, the big question was, can they pull this off and make it into a phenomenal game? It looks great, it looks amazing, but can it be a great game? Well, to answer that question, they just released a new Atomic Heart gameplay trailer with, I believe, over 7 or 8 minutes of new gameplay, and for me, it looks pretty awesome. Now, in addition to this, they also released a fairly lengthy blog post where they answer different questions from the community. Hey guys, this is Chris with B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing amazing today. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video, and thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments. Definitely appreciate it because it definitely helps me out. Now, to start out with, guys, what exactly is Atomic Heart? And in the background, you can see the new Atomic Heart gameplay. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to play the full gameplay trailer without me talking over it. And one tip I have for you if you don't speak Russian is you can turn on the closed captioning function on YouTube. It's going to do a fairly good job translating the dialogue into your language of choice. Now back to what exactly Atomic Heart is. So according to everything I've read and taking this gameplay into account, I'm going to say Atomic Heart is an action RPG that's going to feature Souls-like melee combat. So it's going to have a stamina bar, which is going to affect your dodging and your parrying. And if you played any Soulsborne type games, you know one key feature of them is usually the enemies are technical and they do a lot of damage and punish you if you make a mistake. Along with that, we're also going to have firearms in Atomic Heart, but there's also a twist with those as well. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here when I talk about the combat. So, along with the melee weapons, firearms, we're also going to have powers, weapon modding, looting, and crafting. The next question you're probably wondering is, what is the story of Atomic Heart? What exactly is going on in this crazy world here? So on the website it says that Atomic Heart is an adventure first-person shooter, events of which unfold in an alternate universe during the high noon of the Soviet Union, so 1950, 1960. So in this alternate universe, the Soviet Union has had a technological explosion. So essentially they had an explosion in robotics, holograms, and also created the internet. Take that, Al Gore. You suck. Well, anyways, the facility that P3, the protagonist, is going to be entering is called Facility 3826. And this is a special robotics facility where obviously things have gone very, very wrong. Now, one interesting thing about these robots, and it looks like, again, biological robots, they call this guy the Jelly Man. Well, along with their programming to do, whatever job they were doing, they also have an emergency program so that if the Soviet Union was attacked, they would become combative. So evidently someone or something has taken over this facility and it has gone haywire. Now the protagonist who we're going to play as is called P3, and he's a special KGB agent who's been augmented, and you can see he's got, special tentacles in his in his hand, or I don't know what's going on there. But he's been augmented, and that's why he can use, special abilities. So next, you're probably wondering, what is this game going to play like? Now, full disclosure, I haven't played Atomic Heart yet, but from the different articles I read, they're calling it Soviet Bioshock. I don't personally like that because Bioshock is one of my favorite games and I've played it like 20, 30 times. And from what I've seen from Atomic Heart, this looks like it's going to be kind of like Bioshock, but it's going to have more of a Souls-like feel to it. So it looks like to me that the encounters are going to be more technical and your skill level is going to play a big role in, how this game's going to play out for you. Now, one of the questions they answered on their blog post about Atomic Heart is, can you play this game as a shoot and run game? I think they mean run and gun. Anyways, it goes on and says, do you need to conserve ammo like Prey 2017, or will there be lots of ammo like Bioshock? Here they respond and say that Atomic Heart in some sense is a run and gun game, but you must add if and then. So if you shoot, then run. They go on and elaborate that everything is set up in a way that it's not advised to make noise, as the collective network has threat mechanics. So the network will harshly react to perpetrators, and a loud gunshot is a serious reason to react. And they're going to react by sending in a new party of robots to your location. They go on and say that nevertheless you will have to shoot at sometimes, because sometimes it's a matter of survival. As for the consequences, you'll have to handle that later. So again, I think this reinforces the Souls-like vibe of this game. Another thing that kind of backs up the Souls-like aspect to this game is they talked about, and I don't remember where I read this, but they were talking about precision melee strikes, that the fewer strikes or the more precise strikes you make to an opponent and defeat them, the more crafting material you're going to get from that defeated foe. So that's interesting. I know for myself that makes me a little nervous, because it's like I like to just flail once in a while, just swing around and knock them out. So Atomic Heart itself is a single player experience, and one of the questions asked was about how big the game world is. Here Mundfish gave an interesting reply. They said, "The world size is not so huge for the modern standard, but it is filled with absolutely incredible events. We strive to not spread the thinnest layer of butter over a tremendous piece of bread. We do the opposite. We create concentrated pleasure for the player." That sounds interesting. They go on and say that we bring them the experience that they won't get in other games. And they finish and say that in such context, size of the world no longer matters. And you can see that's what they're focusing on here, especially with all the different robots and, all the artwork and everything else. I mean, it looks amazing. I can't wait to play it, but they do have to make sure there's enough gameplay here. And to that question, someone asked them, how long will it take to finish the game, approximately? The developer said that it'll take around 20 hours to finish the main story, but in order to properly understand it, most likely you're going to need to play through it several times. They also confirmed there are optional side quests we can choose to do that are going to flesh out the story some more. They've also confirmed there are plenty of collectibles we're going to be looking for as well. So as far as a release date for Atomic Heart, right now, according to what they told the IGN, they're aiming for 2021. More specifically, they answered a question on their blog post. Basically, it said, what stage of development is Atomic Heart in? The developers replied and said all of the game's functions, mechanics, and systems are written and functioning. Most of the features are polished and are already in the game. Currently, we are scaling the content, adjusting combat, improving the shooting, adding micro cutscenes where necessary, implementing story cutscenes, and everything related to the narrative of the game. They go on and give us more, technical details about what they're doing, but at the end they say, in other words, the game is at the polishing stage. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. Are you excited about Atomic Heart? Are you hopeful that this game is going to be good? Let us know what you think.
Раз.
Да,
Эти ребята не оживут за моей спиной?
не волнуйтесь. У экспонатов отсутствует блок питания.
Ловлю на слове. Ой, вот это я понимаю, хоромы. Раз. Какой у нас там план-то?
Вам приказано зачистить территорию выставочного комплекса из 4 этажей. Начинайте с любого. Модели пылесосов не вышли из-под контроля и могут нанести вред вашему здоровью.
Зачем тут пылесосы?
Ну, пыль. Обратите внимание на экспонат с внутренностями кита. Тут представлены не только органы дыхания с пищеварением, но и...
Так, раз. Хорош. Кто в банках?
Детектирую органические объекты, состоящие из смеси желе и различных животных организмов.
Понял. На закуску оставили.
Надеюсь, вы не будете пробовать их на вкус.
Но выглядит не очень аппетитно. Эй, Храс! Тут одна закуска выбралась из банки.
Короче, ребят, добавляемся в виш-листы, блядь.